Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
It was kind of just like a matter-of-fact thought. I was like, okay, this could be it. This could be how I go.
The investigation intensifying as nearly a dozen families mourn the loss of their family members. Newest details on the Astroworld tragedy and what comes next in the investigation.
Plus, San Antonio police forced to break down a door after reports of a double stabbing on the city's west side. What investigators say happened.
A local high school focused on coding, gaming, and much more is launching a new program partnership with UTSA. Coming up, the different opportunities students will have.
Hey, good morning to you. It is Tuesday, November 9th.
Thanks for joining us. Weather looking pretty great outside. Let's go ahead and take a look outside with live cam. We're at 62 degrees. Very nice, but not as cold as it has been.
Temperatures are coming up a little bit. You know, one thing we're dealing with again this morning is the fog. Yesterday we saw that in New Braunfels and Seguin. Guess what? Here we go again. More fog there this morning. We've had a little bit here in San Antonio too. Let's go outside for you. You can see a little bit of haze there, but not any big issues here in San Antonio. Visibility is at about 6 miles. New Braunfels at about 4 miles, but it was much worse earlier with the fog. Take a look at this time lapse. You can see the high clouds coming across, and then you can see the haze there at the bottom. That is the fog that settled in. 64 degrees at the airport right now. Dew point is at 61. Most of us in the 60s at this hour. 63 in Uvalde, 63 Rock Springs, 63 in Gonzales. Seems to be a popular number. Even a few 70s down there. So that tells you that there is moisture starting to stream back in. Big picture here with the satellite. We've got high clouds streaming across. That'll be happening all day long. So that'll scour out the sun a little bit. We'll call for mostly cloudy skies for your Tuesday. Here's the forecast. 74 by 2 o'clock, 77 by 4 o'clock. Sunset once again at 5:42, down to 74 by 6 p.m. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer, a little bit more sun, but we got a frontal boundary. What does that mean for rain chances and for the rest of the week? We'll take another look at that. Plus, we're going to take a look back at the hurricane season, too, coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Fog has been evident on several of our TransGuide cameras this morning, or rather, our TransGuide cameras. There's 35 at Watson Lake, and the fog is lifting a bit, but still kind of hanging around.
And for now, let's look at today's 9 at 9.
Pushback building against the federal mandate requiring millions of workers get vaccinated by January. More than half of U.S. states, along with a number of businesses, are suing the Biden administration, saying the mandate is federal overreach. The White House continues to say it's confident in its legal authority.
Pfizer is expected to seek emergency authorization for its COVID booster in people 18 and older. The FDA has already authorized the booster for people 65 or older 6 months after a full vaccination course, and for people at increased risk of contracting COVID due to medical, living, or working conditions.
Stock trading platform Robinhood says information belonging to millions of its customers was exposed in a hack last week. Hackers got email addresses for about 5 million people and full names for roughly 2 million. The company said hackers demanded an extortion payment following the data breach. It's not clear if the company paid it.
After spending 6 months in space, the crew with SpaceX has returned to Earth. 4 astronauts aboard the Crew Dragon splashed down off the coast of Florida around 10:30 last night. The trek home did present some issues. A broken toilet left the astronauts without a bathroom option. The next crew is expected to leave for space tomorrow.
Actor Alec Baldwin says production companies should hire police officers on sets to monitor weapon safety. The actor posted the idea on social media after last month's fatal shooting during the filming of his new movie Rust in New Mexico. That investigation is still underway.
Billy Joel was set to headline a show at Minute Maid Park in Houston next year, with ticket sales starting this Friday. But those tickets are now on hold after the Astroworld tragedy. The concert's promoter, Live Nation Houston, says they are delaying ticket sales until further notice, pending the investigation into that deadly Astroworld chain of events.
On this day, 32 years ago, Germans were reunited with Germans as the wall separating East and West Germany fell. Multiple ceremonies and events are being held at the Berlin Wall today to celebrate the event and also remember the Jews exterminated by Nazi Germany.
Macy's now says it will boost its minimum wage to $15 an hour by May. The retailer also says it is launching a $35 million program to offer debt-free education benefits to its employees.
It is official. Netflix has announced the second season of the popular Korean show Squid Game. The director says he was left with no choice after the show's global success. A release date has not been announced, but parts of the second season will be filmed in Hollywood. And that's today's 9 at 9. In this morning's Tech SA, it's a local high school focused on coding, cybersecurity, IT, gaming, entrepreneurship, and business. And now Cass Tech High School is adding a new program.
So this morning they are announcing a unique program in partnership with UTSA that allows Cass Tech students to earn transferable college credits and take the first class in their intended college major.
Tiffany Huertas joins us live from Cass Tech High School with more on the program. Tiffany, good to see you on GMSA at 9. What type of impact will this program have in our community?
A huge impact, Mark. Now, this new early college program, Academy, hopes to build a pool of local talent in cybersecurity, coding, data science, and much more. And joining us now live is Cass Tech Principal Melissa Alcala to talk a little bit more about this program. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Talk to us about what this program entails and why it's so unique.
We're so excited to have this new program for our student body here at Cass Tech High School because what it means is that students now have a personalized approach to dual credit courses when they're ready, which is unlike an early college high school necessarily. And then also by the end of their senior year, they've already taken a course potentially within their college major. The other unique thing that we're really excited about is starting their freshman year here at Cass Tech, they're exposed to business and technology. And so for 3 years, by the end of their junior year, they've been exposed to different careers, different curriculum within these two pathways to help inform their decision of what they may want to do post-graduation to inform their college major.
Can you talk to us about the different courses that they're going to be taking throughout high school that are part of all of this tech industry here in San Antonio?
So what's unique to this program are some of the specialized courses they get to take at UTSA within the College of Business or the College of Science. So specifically, we're talking about unlocking cybersecurity, business statistics, marketing, any of those things they could major in as a business student or a technology student. So we're very excited about that. Students are coming back from taking their Business of Information Systems course as a senior. So it's very exciting for them to come back excited and to feel informed, like, yes, this is the direction I'm going to want to go and to continue in post-graduation.
The opportunities are endless. Talk to us about the different types of jobs that students will be able to fill here in San Antonio.
So the whole intent of all the Cass schools is to create a pipeline of future citizens to fill the needs of San Antonio. And we all know that all careers now involve business and technology, which is so great about Cass Tech and was so insightful for the design of this campus. So students will be ready now and well-versed to take careers that have to do with entrepreneurship and startup, but also for some of the big companies here in San Antonio that need a pipeline to fill those positions from all the baby boomers that are getting ready to retire. So it's very exciting that we're creating that ready bench to fill those positions and then continue to fill jobs as San Antonio evolves over time.
And we've heard from local leaders in the tech industry that there's a lot of jobs in cybersecurity and a whole mess of other jobs surrounding that field. So this is really exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited for the students. And the other piece is that this is just having a positive ripple effect across San Antonio, and excited to see how this kind of model can expand beyond Cass Tech to other schools that may want to do a similar work.
Well, thank you so much. We're so excited. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll talk a little bit about how this is involving the tech industry and how leaders are also getting involved. Mark, Steph.
Thank you, Tiffany.
A couple of top stories we're following for you today. San Antonio police investigating a double stabbing on the city's west side.
Police say a man stabbed his girlfriend, then turned the knife on himself. This happened on Marbuck Road, not far from Hunt Lane. Authorities found the couple inside the Polo Club apartments after 9:30 last night, and authorities say the apartment belongs to the woman. Police did not say who called them to this gated complex, but they told us they had to break down the door of that apartment.
Police tell us the 30-year-old woman was barely breathing when they found her. Both were rushed to a hospital. The investigation is still underway, but authorities do not think the man lived in the apartment. No word yet what led up to the stabbings. Police say they expect the man will face criminal charges.
And also new this morning, a man facing charges after police say he broke into his ex-girlfriend's apartment and attacked her. 21-year-old Matthew Garcia was arrested for burglary of a habitation with intent to commit assault. The incident happened back on August 30th. According to the arrest affidavit, the woman told police her ex-boyfriend kicked the door and broke into her apartment on Pamela Drive while she had a friend over. She said Garcia started fighting with the man and then hit her in the mouth before taking off. The woman's friend also left before officers got there. A neighbor is the one who called police. Officers noticed the injury to the woman's face and damage to her apartment door, which was consistent with her story. She was able to identify Garcia in a photo lineup, and he was arrested.
9:08, about 63 degrees. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
More testimony from local residents who were at the Astroworld Fest and tips on what you should do if you find yourself in a dangerous crowd surge.
Plus, nearly a dozen students unable to go to school this morning, instead spending the day in the hospital after this happened to their bus that crashed into a creek. A full story coming up in your morning headlines. In your morning headlines, an update on the tragedy at the Astroworld concert over the weekend. A video of a school bus crashing into a creek.
Police officers save a woman from her car sinking in a canal, and the odd story for the week. David Sears is here to explain all of this morning.
I think it's odd. I think y'all will find it kind of odd, too. So,
okay.
you ready for that one?
We're game.
All right, we'll get to that in just a second. But first, let's start with this. Local investigators looking into that tragedy at the Astroworld Festival in Houston, getting some federal help. They are being joined by the FBI. 8 people killed, dozens injured. We are finding out more about the performer on stage during the mayhem, Travis Scott, and his past concert crowds and his breaks with the law. Back in 2015, according to the Chicago Tribune, Scott pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor reckless conduct charge. He was accused of encouraging a crowd at Lollapalooza to just climb over the security barricades. Then in 2018, according to the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Scott pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct. Police say he was encouraging a concert crowd to rush the stage in a 2017 show in Rogers, Arkansas. While authorities look into his past, we do know what happened over the weekend. The scene chaotic at best, and we continue to hear from eyewitnesses as it all happened in real time.
Everyone's screaming. I mean, it's like an airplane crash type of situation. You know, people are screaming like bloody murder. It's kind of just like a matter of fact thought. I was like, okay, this could be it. This could be how I go. I remember looking down and the person on the bottom was just laying there. And all I could do is I just slapped their face. I think they were unconscious. They might have passed at that point.
Scott did post on Instagram that he didn't know how bad things were in the crowd. Those killed included 2 teenagers and 6 in their 20s. There are already a couple of lawsuits being filed, and you can expect more of those. You were in a car with a dash cam following a school bus down a road in eastern Pennsylvania yesterday morning. There are about 30 school students on the bus, and look at it, goes up on the side of the hill and then across the road, crashes through a guardrail and into a ditch. Actually, that's not a ditch, it's a creek. There's water flowing in there. You can see one driver on the opposite side pulls up. She's eventually going to get out of her car. The driver you're with, showing the dash cam video, got out and ran down to help. Here's what that bus looked like in the creek. Passers-by doing what they could to help. 9 people injured. 8 were students. They were taken to local hospitals. You can only imagine the panic from the parents, though.
It was very terrifying, and to see that happening, our first thought is to help people. So when we came out here, we had moms crying, some on the ground. It was just very heartbreaking.
To go through a guardrail, you have to strike that with some serious force just to be able to get through that and get down that hill and through those trees.
Police tell us every child on board was reunited with the parent. There is dash cam video from the bus and that other car that's going to help police with their investigation. All right, now let's go to Florida. This is last Friday. That is a car submerged in a canal. Obviously, it's at night, and the police have that car surrounded. There is a woman inside. Several officers trying to rescue her, and you're looking at body cam video from one of those officers. The car slowly sinking. The officers doing what they can to get that woman out.
Watch out. Come on. Come on. Come on out. Come on out. You want to see me? Can you come out the back? Come out the back. Come on.
That's just some nasty water and a tough situation. Eventually, they were able to break out that back driver's side window and get the woman to the bank. She was conscious and talking to officers when they got her to dry land. All right, finally, this is one of those stories that makes you kind of go, huh? What? He's doing what? We are in the Netherlands, and this guy's name is Saman. He likes to skateboard, and he also has a pizza shop, so hey, why not combine the two? Yeah, he did. He makes a big slice of pizza, and then he's going to dab it to keep it from getting moldy. He's going to let it dry for a week, then pour chemicals all over it, lets the chemicals harden, and then gets the sander after it here in a few minutes to smooth out the slice, and he puts on some wheels, and voila, he's got a sliced pizza skateboard.
I skateboard for like 18 years now, so I was like, pizza, skateboard, pizza skateboard. I have to make a pizza skateboard. So I went on Google, I checked it, if there was some crazy person that already made this.
No, you're the first one, I think. Congratulations. He also makes pizza stools, tables, and even pictures of pizza to hang on the wall. So he's there he goes.
Nice.
Yep.
He's
Pizza art.
A pretty creative guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
More to come. We'll see what kind of other foods come down the pipeline there.
Okay.
Can't have it for a snack though. And once it's a skateboard.
Not if you break the skateboard, I guess, maybe.
Nope.
Piece of pepperoni falls out. What are you going to do?
Thank you, David.
Very much, David. As we're bringing Justin here, a lot of folks grew up watching the TV show Quantum Leap. Dean Stockwell, actor, passed away at the age of 85. I want to let you know about that. He was in movies Married to the Mob, you mentioned, Dune, Blue Velvet. But again, Dean Stockwell dead at 85. His co-star in Quantum Leap, Scott Bakula, said he was a breath of fresh air, kept me laughing. He was unique in his determination to make each role his own.
Our thoughts are with his family.
All right, Justin's here, and I guess that's a wrap on the season?
Well, not technically yet. We typically see hurricane season in November 30th, but it's looking that way. There's not much out there, and we're starting to see things really wind down. I want to show you a sort of a look back at the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. We had quite a few named storms. Now, not as many as last year, but plenty. To go around here. We exhausted all the names. We had Wanda last week, and that was the last of the names. Now, if we were to go past Wanda, we'd have to go to an extra list. We don't have the Greek letters anymore. We're past that, so we would just add on some names. But we didn't really get there. I think this is probably where we end. 21 storms, 7 hurricanes, 4 of them major. And this is a look at the Gulf of Mexico. We, of course, had Nicholas, which affected Texas. There was Claudette. Ida was a big one for New Orleans. Mindy, Elsa was another big one. And then Henri up across the Northeast. So it was another busy year when it comes to hurricanes, and we had quite a few landfalling ones as well. We've had a busy stretch here. But I mentioned we went through all the names all the way through Wanda. So, yes, definitely above average season. Let's go outside for you now. We've got some hazy conditions, some clouds moving across the sky, some high clouds, and they'll be with us most of today. 64 degrees at the airport, 67 Stinson, 64 Kelly, 62 at Randolph. And that fog is basically up I-35 as you get up towards Austin. But New Braunfels still reporting some issues here, down to about 1.75 miles. And looking at some of the TransGuide video there is still some hazy conditions. I think within the hour this lifts. We haven't had many issues here in San Antonio, and you go west, no issues at all when it comes to visibility. Temperature-wise, 64 Kerrville, 63 in Rock Springs, up to 70. It's one of the warm spots there in Del Rio, 71 Cotulla, 67 in Beeville. And this is the 24-hour dew point change. Dew points continue to creep up just a little bit. It's not a huge rise. It's not overly humid, but we are seeing a little bit more humidity in the air. And the dew point tracker shows that dew points will stay high through tomorrow, and then they'll fall off. We'll get a weak frontal boundary. Looks like early Thursday morning. That dries us out a little bit, and then we should get some reinforcing shots of dry air, which will keep things pretty comfortable through the weekend. Here's the big picture. You can see the high clouds moving across the sky. No rain with these. It shows a little bit of activity up here, but that's probably just some sprinkles. So these high clouds drift through, and then our next system is still out here over California. That's what's going to bring that front through early Thursday morning. So here's how the Futurecast looks. Through 5 o'clock, still some clouds around. Maybe a little bit of clearing tonight, but then the clouds fill right back in tomorrow morning. I think we'll see another round of fog maybe a little bit of drizzle tomorrow morning, and then partly cloudy skies during the afternoon. That front comes through early, pre-dawn Thursday. Doesn't look like it'll bring any rain with it. If there are any rain chances, they're probably going to be off to our north and east. So we'll keep this front rain free, and then Thursday we clear out, and looks pretty nice. As I mentioned, even going into the weekend, we've got some pretty great weather headed our way. 77 degrees today, down into the 60s tonight with a southerly breeze only 5 to 10. Breezy tomorrow with some morning fog and clouds. Just a 10% chance of rain with that front. And then breezy for Veterans Day, 74, 72 Friday, 72 Saturday, 77 on Sunday, and 76 Monday, guys.
Looks good.
Yep.
Thank you, Justin.
Yep. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and while our area has high numbers of type 1 and type 2, did you know there are other forms of diabetes? The details coming up, plus
more than $320 million allocated to San Antonio. Now, local officials want to know how the public wants to spend the money. We're going to explain how you can have your voice heard right after the break.
The city of San Antonio expects to receive a sizable slice of that $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. Staff estimates the city is due $326 million in local aid under the latest COVID-19 stimulus bill.
the city is now asking the people of San Antonio how we want to spend these funds. Max Massey joins us live at City Hall. And Max, how can the public have their voice heard?
Well, there are so many different ways. There's a series of open meetings. There's actually one this evening. We are joined here with the deputy city manager. So what can people expect from these meetings?
Well, they can expect to learn what ARPA is to begin with, and also to give us their opinion on how we can use these dollars that will have an impact on our community and benefit our residents.
Now, there's a meeting tonight. How interactive is it? What should people expect?
So they're going to see a presentation to learn about ARPA and what the eligible uses are. And then we have a section to answer questions that they may have and get some of their comments. And then we have a survey for us to be able to tabulate the information that we're going to get from our residents so they can participate that way. Now, if they're not able to attend the meeting in person, they can also participate via Facebook, and they can fill out the survey using their cell phone or their computer. And if they don't have access to any of these devices, they can also call 311.
Fantastic. So many options.
Yes, yes.
I believe it was about $327 million. 97 of that already used, correct?
Yes, so we got $327 million. We got half of those funds in May of 2021, and we used 97.5 as part of the budget process to stabilize the budget because we lost revenue just like any other business here in San Antonio, and also to address some of the community needs in our city, for example, mental health and domestic violence.
What are some of the options for the remaining $237 million?
So we propose a framework to the City Council. So one, we would like to continue to use these funds to respond to the pandemic, vaccines and testing. Also, the funds can be used to address immediate community needs like utility assistance to help our residents to pay for their water bill and electric bill. And also to address some long-term projects of the city, projects that may have a long-term impact, such as addressing mental health or homelessness or economic development.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And guys, if you have any questions, we have all those answers, where the meetings are, how to take part, just head to KSAT.com. Mark, Stephanie, back to you guys.
Max Massey live downtown at City Hall. Thank you, Max.
And as we head to break, let's go ahead and take a look at the roads with TransGuide. There's an accident there westbound 1604 at Shanefield Road, and it looks like some crews have responded. Maybe that's a Hero truck. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like PD is out there as well. The good news looks like it's on the frontage road, and traffic is flowing in that right-hand lane on the frontage road. But again, westbound 1604 frontage there by Shanefield.
And there's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
What would it look like if Elon Musk follows through with plans to build an underground tunnel here in the San Antonio region? Details in our next half hour.
And welcome back. It's 9:31. It's a scary situation that almost anyone could find themselves in, and it's something that became all too real this weekend in Houston, being stuck in a crowd with no way out.
Yeah, for 8 people. A crowd surge at the Astroworld Music Festival turned deadly. Many others were hurt. KSAT's Japhanie Gray speaks with 2 parents about what their children witnessed and it has tips on what to do if you're ever caught in that kind of chaos.
This young girl was being crushed, and when they did pull her out, she was already, she was gone.
It's been hard for Patricia Harris to sleep after experiencing what she and her son experienced Friday at the Astroworld Music Festival.
They did CPR for her for 45 minutes, and she was done. So it's sad because that could have been my son.
This isn't what you expect as a parent, sending them to a concert.
Mary Velasquez's 3 sons were also at that event, which left 8 people dead, 25 hospitalized, and nearly 300 people with injuries. They chose to stand on a hill by a tree.
They did see the golf carts going by. They did see people having CPR done on them.
As soon as the countdown started, everyone starts rushing in.
Harris says she goes to concerts with her son all the time, and she's used to seeing the young crowd's high energy, which is why she doesn't blame Travis Scott or Drake, who may face lawsuits in the future. Here at the AT&T Center, several concerts come through San Antonio, and this venue hasn't had any issues to the magnitude of what happened at Astroworld Music Festival. But should you find yourself in a concerning crowd-like situation, here are a couple things you could do to better protect yourself. Do some research.
Where it's going to be at, who it is.
Be proactive and have a plan. Keep your eyes open for an escape. Leave while you can if you notice the crowd is thickening. If it's too late to flee, try to remain upright. Control your breathing and do not panic. Japhanie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're at 64 degrees. Slightly more humid today, and a lot of drivers had to deal with fog this morning, Justin.
Yeah, there has been a little bit of fog here and there. We're seeing some improvement, thankfully. The fog is starting to dissipate a little bit. It was a warmer morning than we've been dealing with. We had a good stretch where we were in the 40s there. Not anymore. The lows this morning, mid-50s here in San Antonio, 59 in Kerrville, 55 in Hondo. And as you might imagine, that's due in large part to moisture. We also had some cloud cover that helped to keep temperatures up some. Only got down to 59 in Carrizo Springs, a place that was down to 50 yesterday. So you can see the difference that the moisture makes. If you're wondering, pollen count's still in great shape. Mold is at 180. It's in the low category. This is the time of year where we don't typically see a lot of allergens, but we know that the bigger season is just ahead. So we'll enjoy it while we can. Temperatures 65 in Comfort, 64 in Kerrville, 62 New Braunfels, 67 Stinson. High clouds continue to stream across, and it will be a mostly cloudy day. As for tomorrow, I think we repeat with some fog, then get some afternoon sun. Weak cold front works its way through Thursday. Doesn't do a lot for our forecast other than dry us out once again and keep temperatures pretty nice as we head into the weekend. Today we top out at 77. Sunset is at 5:42, and we'll see temperatures again fairly mild tonight into tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about that weekend forecast and look ahead with the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. It's a one-of-a-kind program that will accelerate a student's college career to a professional high-demand career in business, cybersecurity, and technology.
Cass Tech High School is showcasing a new program this morning, and Tiffany Huertas joins us live with more details. Tiffany, how are tech leaders involved in this program?
Steph, one of San Antonio's big tech leaders, Graham Weston, has invested in this program to help students just like these build and continue to thrive in the tech industry right here at home. Cass Tech High School already focuses on coding, cybersecurity, IT, gaming, entrepreneurship, and business. Now it's adding this new program. Cass Tech High School and UTSA announcing the Early College Academy that gives students an opportunity to earn college credits that will count toward their degree program at UTSA. The new program hopes to build a pool of local talent to fill high-demand jobs in cybersecurity, data science, and much more.
One of the strategic decisions with working with UTSA is their cybersecurity program. It's one of the top in the nation, and they have a national certification. So we're excited that our students will get to be able to participate and work towards that degree program, which is only offered here in San Antonio at UTSA and then Washington, D.C. And this makes students qualifying a trajectory for a six-figure salary in the future.
Over 100 students are already part of this program, and students in this program will learn business and technology courses and get to explore the different careers throughout their high school career. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Tiffany. And November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and while our area has high numbers of type 1 and type 2, did you know there are other forms of diabetes? So type 1 is often diagnosed in children who are left dealing with a lifetime of insulin injections.
Meanwhile, adults are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes are treated with medication and injections. But Ursula Perry shows us how thousands of people don't fall into either category, and the search is on for new treatments just for them.
16-year-old Raquel Gabel doesn't let anything slow her down, doing all this while losing her eyesight.
I can tell there's a wall there, but if I was just sitting here and didn't know anyone was in the room, I wouldn't be able to tell you guys or tell you you're sitting there.
Diagnosed as a 5-year-old with Wolfram Syndrome, Raquel, with her mom by her side, has joined clinical trial after clinical trial, all in hopes of finding a way to stop this disease.
As a parent, you're sitting there going, what do you do with your child who can't see and can't hear?
Wolfram Syndrome is often misdiagnosed as type 1 diabetes in children. Children experience the same blood sugar problems, but unlike type 1 diabetes,
most cases are caused by a change in the single gene.
Now there's a new nationwide clinical trial, Radiant, which is enrolling thousands of people who fall on the diabetes spectrum. Researchers hope to build a comprehensive database of genetic and clinical data, allowing doctors across the world to more easily identify atypical forms of diabetes and identify new genes associated with the rare forms of the disease.
We may be able to design a personalized treatment for each patient with diabetes.
The ultimate goal? Improve and save lives of people like Raquel, living with an unusual form of diabetes.
I believe soon that I will be able to see again. There will be a cure.
Sadly, most patients die by the age of 40 if their condition is not managed very well throughout their lives. And there's no cure, just medications to treat the symptoms. That's why these clinical trials are so important. And if you'd like to participate in one, we have one in Texas at the Baylor College of Medicine in Houston. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
And a quick check back at the roads with TransGuide. Looking at that accident that we were checking on earlier on the access road of a westbound 1604, that's at Shanefield Road. It looks like it's pretty much cleared.
Proposals are due in a few weeks for a potential transportation system between San Antonio International Airport and downtown.
Reports say Elon Musk is interested in building a tunnel loop here. So what is it and can it work here? KSAT Samuel King has a look at how the technology is already being put to use in parts of the country.
Deep below the Las Vegas Convention Center lies what some call the future of transportation. The Las Vegas Convention Center loop is small, 1.7 miles with 3 stations. The Boring Company, owned by Elon Musk, began construction in November 2019, and the loop opened earlier this year. Last month, county officials signed off on a major expansion of the loop, which will include the Las Vegas Strip.
The fact that we're the only place in the world that has this is going to be a lot of interest.
And that interest extends here to San Antonio. And while officials can't say too much about it just yet, this document from the Alamo Regional Mobility Authority reads awfully like it's tailored for a Hyperloop or tunnels project between downtown and the airport.
By going out to the private sector, it opens up the opportunities for what might be possible.
Greg Griffin is an assistant planner and program leader for urban and regional planning at UTSA. He says there's a lot of questions about the plans, including the costs and potential environmental concerns that differ from Las Vegas.
So, for instance, we've got environmental features, we've got the Edwards Aquifer to think about.
VIA President and CEO Jeff Arndt is keeping an eye on the potential of the technology and is prepared to partner with whomever brings such a project to our region.
Hyperloop technology is essentially and most effectively deployed when you're traveling over relatively long distance, right? A Hyperloop between here and Austin with maybe a stop in New Braunfels and San Marcos, let's just say, for example, that's the kind of project that could make sense.
That was our Samuel King reporting.
And time now, 9:41, and it's about 65 degrees out there.
Be right back.
I'm KSAT meteorologist Katie Blake. I not only forecast the weather here at KSAT 12, but I'm also the host of Katie's Science Lab, and this is my assistant. Katie's assistant. You may also know him as David Sears.
For a little over a year now, we have been conducting some simple yet educational and fun experiments for elementary to middle school age children, live Wednesdays on KSAT's GMSA at 9.
Now, we want to bring those experiments to you. So if you're a teacher or a parent who would like us to come visit your school, your class, or your child's class and have them participate in one of our experiments live on TV at 9 o'clock, let us know.
Maybe you are working on your own experiments and you want us to join you. All you have to do is let us know. Just contact Katie.
And we'll make the necessary arrangements and then let the science take over with Katie's Science Lab.
So, David, we hear the message got out to the masses. Did it work?
We asked, and now it's time to deliver.
Oh, yeah?
So tomorrow, 9 a.m., join us live right here on GMSA at 9. We will be at Carvajal Elementary School performing some experiments at 9 in the morning. This is going to be a blast. They're fifth graders.
Aww.
They've taken 3 classes and combined them into 2, so we're going tomorrow. And then we're going to go back if we're invited. We're going to go back next Wednesday, too. So we've got a fun experiment lined up. Katie, I guess she has enough faith in me to come out here and talk about it for tomorrow. So
of course.
We're ready. Well, I am her, number one assistant.
Number one.
Right.
Because I'm her only assistant.
I was going to say, there is number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, we are extremely excited to go over there and join the 5th graders tomorrow. So we've got some experiments lined up. They're talking about rocks.
Okay.
And different kinds of sediment on the earth. They're talking earth. So we're going to go over there, and so that's only a hint I'm giving you. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do.
Little Kitty Science Lab teaser.
We're going to have to tease you a little bit, and we'll be on a couple of times. So join us. It'll be fun. So that's just the beginning. So tune in, and then maybe we'll come to your school one day.
There you go. I'm sure they're looking forward to it.
So got to go home and wash the coat.
Yes.
Got to get the lab coat all fresh. Well, my wife will wash the coat probably.
Get your goggles and your popcorn ready.
Yes.
We're fired up. Let's go.
Thank you, David. Looking forward to it.
Let's go ahead and check in with Justin.
All I can say is, David, I know I can trust Katie, but don't set off the fire alarms. Okay? Keep it safe.
Wow.
I know you guys will. It's going to be awesome. We look forward to it. Love the science labs. Hey, I want to show you some science outside Mother Nature. Take a look at this. This is from Kevin. This is out at Lost Maples. Now, the maples are still kind of changing. I think they're still kind of orange and maybe some yellows, but the sumac, the fireleaf sumac, is turning that bright red. That kind of happens right before the maples. It's always a cool look. But yes, this is sort of peak season out there at Lost Maples. I believe the weekends are booked up through Thanksgiving, but some of the weekdays are still available if you want to go on and book online. And we'll get a foliage report coming up tomorrow, I believe. Here's a look at the time lapse here in San Antonio. Beautiful sunrise this morning. We had some mid and high level clouds coming through, and then you notice sort of that haze there at the bottom. That was some of the fog that developed. So multiple layers of clouds here. 64 degrees at the airport. Dew point is at 61. That number is on the rise. And the fog that we were seeing up and down I-35 has gotten a lot better. It's almost completely lifted. So fog no longer an issue, nor is it an issue here in San Antonio or across the entire viewing area. Temperatures, 64 Kerrville, 64 New Braunfels, 69 Gonzales, some 70s just get down towards Cotulla and Beeville. And dew points, as I mentioned, are on their way up. It's not overly humid, but we will see these numbers rise a little bit more into the 60s today. So it's not going to be super dry. And that's because we do have the flow now off the Gulf of Mexico. So moisture's filling in here across parts of East Texas. There's the cloud cover, a lot of high clouds moving across the state, and that's why I think it'll be a mostly cloudy day, not as much sun as yesterday. The unsettled weather is setting up across the western half of the country. Showers and some snowfall in the higher elevations, some snow across parts of Idaho and Montana. It's that time of year. 25 right now, Cut Bank, 50 in Boise, 31 in Casper. That's where some of the really cold air is up there across the northern part of the Rockies. Frontal Boundary has made it down into Texas, and there is some cooler air up around Amarillo, 45 degrees there. But the rest of the state, really looking at pretty warm stuff. And the whole eastern half of the country, by the way, is going to be warm today out ahead of this frontal boundary. So here's what our Futurecast looks like. Lots of clouds today. We clear out a little bit tonight before clouds fill right back in tomorrow morning. And keep in mind, there could be some fog again on your Wednesday morning, along with some light drizzle as clouds really thicken up tomorrow morning. And then they thin out some during the afternoon we await our frontal boundary. This is going to come through pre-dawn on Thursday. And at this point, doesn't look like we're going to get any rain from this. So this is a dry front, just drives in some drier air. And that means we'll see some pretty nice conditions on Thursday. Forecast for today, up around 77, mostly cloudy. We'll see temperatures slip down into the 60s by 10 o'clock. Southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 79 tomorrow. Fog clouds early, then it becomes breezy during the afternoon. We will put in a 10% chance of rain with that front, but I'm becoming more and more skeptical of seeing anything out of it. 74 Thursday, 72 Friday, and a pretty good looking weekend. 72 Saturday, 77 on Sunday, guys.
Thank you, Justin. And it is November, and all month long, our KSAT community partners are collecting used shoe donations to benefit children in need.
Just yesterday, one San Antonio woman donated 30 pairs of new shoes for the Share the Shoes drive. But it's Lori Rocha's son's story that drove her to do it. Rocha lost her son, Aaron, back in 2016, and to this day, his killer has not been caught. She explains why this big donation has special meaning.
His 30th birthday, I donated 30 shoes in honor of his beautiful life, to carry on his legacy and put kindness and love back into the world because we need it.
Rocha says she made random acts of kindness like this one part of her life after Aaron's death.
And if you'd like to share some shoes with local children, you can drop off a new pair of shoes for toddlers or teens at any SAPD substation through the end of the month. And you can read more about the Share the Shoes drive right now on our website at KSAT.com.
Just about 9:52, 66 degrees.
And we're taking a look back at New Braunfels. Pictures from as far back as 1870 we're going to show you after the break.
Good morning, guys. Coming up on Live, Scottie Pippen talks about his new book, plus water for wellness with Dr. Wendy Bazillion. See you soon on Live.
All right, it is one of the fastest growing areas in the country, and we're talking about the wunderbar town of New Braunfels, Texas. And we've got some amazing old school photos of this city.
Yeah, these pictures are pretty cool. It's on our website at KSAT.com, and also they were given to us by like UTSA. Some of them date back 100 years, and you know, some of them show like what Landa Park looked like in the 1920s.
This one really caught our eye. It's at what used to be called Camp Placid. He said a whole mess of fish, and before they started scrolling, behind those men on the wall was a little sign that said sleeping porches for rent.
I'm going to have to look that up. I have no idea. We were looking at the date for that. It was 1922. Right. So right before the Great Depression. So it's very interesting. I don't know if we needed sleeping porches.
And a lot of water there at Landa Park. And I don't know if that was normal level or we just had a ton of rain back then and it kind of flooded like parts of New Braunfels area tend to do. But I don't recommend renting out your porch. Code compliance may stop by. Okay.
Probably. Okay. Well, I won't do that. Have a great day.
Check out